Winner of 3 PDJ tournaments. Would you please welcome from Japan, Haruki Muramatsu! And now, ladies and gentlemen, the reigning European champion and former world finalist, time to meet the wizard, Simon Whitlock!
The big question on everyone's lips, Rod, is all these people in fancy dresses coming up to 20 to 12. How did they get home?
I don't know, can you imagine getting on the bus? There's all the superheroes and everything. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, they're barking, but I mean, they love it, don't they, Dave? I mean, it's what makes it the show it is to be part of.
He's going to get home all right. He's got a couple of reindeer to tow his sleigh, so that's not a problem. But what about this match? Simon Whitlock against Haruki Muramatsu. Muramatsu showed a bit of class against an out-of-sorts Dave Harrington earlier on in the evening.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Dave Harrington didn't really put up a lot of show at all, and this fella's he's been here a couple of times now, but he's up against one of the most experienced players in the world. Simon Whitlock is not going to give this chance up to get over the first round, have a casual game, and move on to the second round, and you know, perhaps have a tip at winning this title.
It's not a bad quarter. I mean, Colin Osborne and then one of those four.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great quarter. When you look at it, and the players do look at it and who they want to play and who they don't want to play. And Simon would sit there and go, yeah, thanks very much. I've had a bit of a lucky draw here.
But he can't take this guy for granted at all.
Well, you actually can't take anybody for granted, but Simon Whitlock doesn't. He isn't like some other players that would just get up there and think, I've just got to flick these darts and they're going to go in. Simon doesn't like that. He's workmanlike. He puts in the hard work on and off the board. He stays focused, concentrates throughout the game. You know, you won't see him waste too many darts. It's late at night now. The last game went on, great game. It went on probably a half hour, 45 minutes longer than what he anticipated. But he'll be focused, he'll be ready. And
Whitlock is in fine form coming into this as well, isn't he?
He is, he's been, you know, he won his first major European Championships, which when you win that first major, it does settle you down. You haven't got to go looking for that first major, so yeah, he's pretty casual at the moment, and his scoring power's there, he sets it up well, and of course he's always taken doubles out at crucial times.
Cheers, Rod. Stuart Pike and Rod Studding comms.
Thanks, Dave. And Simon Whitlock bring the curtain down on the 6th day's darts at the World Championship by knocking out Haruki Muramatsu and moving on to a tie with Colin Osborne. He should do, of course, but we know Muramatsu is a pretty useful operator. Third time he's been here. He's won his prelim game every time. And last year in the first round, took 3 legs off Phil Taylor, and 2 of them were on the Taylor throw. And there's plenty of good players who haven't managed to do that against the power over the years.
Yeah, decent player, isn't he? Muramatsu, our friend Hashimoto, who became a cult figure, didn't he? the other top Japanese star
97.
at the Ali Pali over the years, and we'll hopefully see the Japanese pair in Hamburg at the start of February with the third staging of the World Cup of Darts. But yeah, Muramatsu was just far too good for the Kiwi. Dave Harrington was a no-show, really, wasn't he? And
60.
Muramatsu got the job done, had a 116 finish, and did a professional job on the New Zealander.
84.
This, though, not just one step up in class, but several steps up in class against one of the real big hitters of world darts. Runner-up in 2 World Championships, 08 at the Lakeside to Mark Webster, and 2010
60.
to the power here. Semi-finalist last year. Should have been a finalist again.
Yeah,
64.
5-4 up, wasn't he, on Andy Hamilton, lost 6-5. I remember when Simon Whitlock came in to the PDC. A brief appearance it was at the 2003 World Championship at the Circus Tavern.
58.
The Aussie
Simon, you require 160.
won the Oceanic Masters, beat Peter Manley in a huge shock at Purfleet, and then disappeared to the BDO before finding
140.
the PDC over the
Haruki,
last
you
4
require
years
164.
has been hugely successful.
Well, triple 18. On for a roof raiser. Bull.
120.
He can throw a dart,
you
of
require
that there's no
20.
doubt. As you say, Muramatsu's proved it over the years here at the Ali Pali. Whitlock.
No score. Haruki require 44.
You don't see that very often with Simon Whitlock.
Almost as if he was rattled by Muramatsu's near miss on the 164. He wants tops, and he kept hitting this in his first match. Not hit it there, has he? Double 10. He's in front. He's taken the first leg of the match with the darts. Haruki Muramatsu.
Well, that might just make Simon Whitlock
57.
spur him into action, but only 57 with his first 3 darts. The support for Muramatsu. Simon Whitlock would do well here to refocus. Can't afford
85.
to come into this game complacent. Everyone expecting Whitlock to win this 3-0. Muramatsu may have something to say about that.
134.
Well, Whitlock, some good darts down under on the treble 19. He's 35 years old, Muramatsu, and as we mentioned, he's making his 3rd appearance at Ali Pali. Hasn't won a set yet in the first round, despite getting through to the first round proper twice. 3-0 defeat by Ronnie Baxter in 2010 and 3-0 to the power last year.
Well,
140.
Simon Whitlock leaving his favourite finish. Leaves 170, more than any other player on the circuit. Has a decent record at hitting it too.
Yes, it would be no surprise to see him put
60.
his first leg
Simon, you require
on the board in the
170.
2013 World Championships with one of these. Another treble 20. Far away, was it?
105.
Talk about roof raisers. Muramatsu did that in winning those legs against Taylor last year, didn't he? Especially those 2 against the throw. He's improved year on year on each appearance in the World Championship.
So you require
Valuable experience playing the likes of Baxter, Taylor, and now Whitlock, who's missed the 25. So only 1 dart at tops
45.
and another miss.
Haruki, you require 156.
Well, for one of the most famed and feared hitters of a double in professional darts, Simon Whitlock has missed all 4 of his attempts so far. Goodness, another treble 20. Well, still look at the same target.
100.
Left 56.
So you
Well,
require
Simon Whitlock
20.
had awful trouble with double 10 in the last leg.
They're going to have to move across Finally,
Whitlock.
at the
Don't let
7th
Haruki do throw
time
first.
of asking,
Game on.
Whitlock hits a double, important as well. Muramatsu was waiting. Difficult, I would imagine,
60.
for Whitlock, not knowing what time he was going to be on, and of course the Colin Lloyd Darren Young match turned into a mini classic. Well, there's a classic 118 from the Australian. Finally getting into his stride. Yeah, you imagine you get yourself ready to play, and then all of a sudden you've got to wait a little bit longer, then
60.
wait even longer.
Yes, the last set of the Lloyd-Young game went 6 legs to 4. To Lloyd.
100.
Scrambled through.
And that'll be a cracking second round match. Lloyd against Mark Webster. The winner of this, by the way, will play Colin Osborne in the last 32.
100.
Well, he's found his range now, Whitlock.
140.
With a third 140 to go with a maximum. He's left 81 after 9 darts. Pros would call a proper leg. You wonder what might have happened had he missed double 10 for the 6th time and Muramatsu gone out to go 2 legs
60.
to 0 up, but that's not what happened.
81.
Well, he's hit the treble 10. The double 16 for a 12 dart leg.
65.
Scoring much better, finishing not so yet. But yeah, as you mentioned, he's built his reputation as being one of the best finishers in world darts. Yet to see it tonight, though.
24. Simon, you require 16.
Double 8. Double 4 now. Double 2.
James Shard in the third leg.
Went around the
Simon
board in
Whitlock.
3 darts.
Fourth leg,
He's only 2
Simon
from
to
11 on the
throw
double,
first.
but he is 2 legs to 1
Game
up
on.
in the first set. And throwing now to win the opening stanza.
Here he goes again. We'll look down.
139.
Yeah, it's amazing what the breakthrough has done for Simon Whitlock, winning that European Championship, his first major, and he has been one of the form players over the last 6 months. Showed a lot of bottle as well at the Players'
57.
Championship when Gary Anderson was threatening to come back and beat him, and if it had gone to a deciding leg, probably would have done. The momentum was with him, but we've seen Whitlock under pressure in the past
134.
wilt, haven't we? But that's a part of his game that has really come on this year. He's toughened up, I think, as a darts player, mentally.
Semi-finalist there in that tournament that Stuart was talking about. Finalist,
41.
beaten finalist by Phil Taylor in the Premier League earlier this year, but hit a 9-darter in the semi-final against Andy Hamilton at the O2.
140.
Much better now. 95 average. Sort of darts that we're accustomed to seeing when Simon Whitlock's on the big stage.
Well, it took about a leg and a half for the big Aussie
60.
to go through the gears, but
Simon,
he
you
certainly
require 88.
found cruise control now. Well, no need to go 18 ball, so looking for treble 20, which would have left
56.
double 4. And when he comes back, he'll be looking for double 16 for the first set. He breezed through it after those early stutters and stumbles.
Good darts from Muramatsu.
140.
His first
Simon,
top
you require
40.
32.
Normal service about to be resumed, you feel? Well, that's awkward. It really is awkward. That's a
James
great
Shard
dart.
in the first set.
He threw that
Simon
dart
Whitlock.
through the flight of the first one. Great stuff from the Wizard. He is off and running and looks to be coasting into round two. Whitlock